We begin our report with President Biden's new proposal to provide legal protection to nearly 500,000 undocumented migrants in America. The plan would protect from deportation undocumented spouses and children of U.S. citizens. It also makes it easier for them to apply for work visas and lawful permanent residency. During his announcement Tuesday, the president insisted that despite the vital role Hispanic voters will play in his campaign and the salience of the border issue in the campaign, that he had other motivations.
I'm not interested in playing politics with the border or immigration. I'm interested in fixing it. I said it before. And I'll say it again today. I will work with anyone to solve these problems. That's my responsibility as president. That's our responsibility as Americans.
CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez joins us now from San Antonio, Texas. Camilo, what requirements are necessary for migrants to qualify for this new program, and when would it take effect?
Hi, John. This will be the biggest immigration program for undocumented immigrants here in the U.S. since that DACA policy that, as you just underscored, turned 12 years old this past weekend. And this will allow the undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens to apply for work permits and deportation protections as long as they have lived here in the U.S. for at least 10 years and as long as they pass background checks. People who have serious criminal records or who pose a threat to national security will not qualify. But perhaps more importantly, John, this will also give these eligible immigrants a more streamlined process for seeking U.S. citizenship and also U.S. residency. Right now, an immigrant who marries a U.S. citizen, John, is eligible for a green card, a permanent resident status. But many of these immigrants who have lived in the country unlawfully first have to leave the country, come back legally, and then get that green card. But in that process, many of them face a 10-year ban from the U.S. because, again, they lived here in the U.S. illegally for some time. This will prevent that from happening and will also allow these people to get a green card and ultimately U.S. citizenship without leaving the U.S. So it is a major policy shift.
One of the criticisms that's already come out is that this is amnesty, a word we always hear in these debates, and some Republicans are suggesting it's a move to turn unauthorized migrants into voters ahead of the election. Give us your response to that.
Well, John, you can certainly have legitimate, valid criticisms and policy disagreements when it comes to this announcement. People are entitled to their own opinions on immigration policy, and we obviously have a very heated, polarizing debate on immigration here in the U.S. But the fact of the matter is that this will only benefit people, John, who are already on paper eligible for green cards because they are married to U.S. citizens. It will just allow them to undergo that process here in the U.S. without having to leave the country and potentially be banned for several years from returning to the U.S. So again, it is a streamlined process for people, one, to get work permits, but also to get a green card here in the U.S. It is also very important to note, John, that only U.S. citizens can vote in federal elections. Green card holders cannot vote, and those permanent residents must wait 5 years in that status before applying for U.S. citizenship. So this policy will not convert any immigrant into an eligible voter anytime soon. This will happen in several years, of course, but not anytime soon.
Now to other challenges which might come in the form of an actual legal challenge. What might this policy face in the courts?
Well, John, we can certainly expect Republican-led states, including Texas, to challenge the legality of this action by President Biden. Those states have sued over virtually every single immigration action by President Biden, and we should expect that to remain the case and to continue with this new policy. The Biden administration, we are told, is certainly preparing for a lawsuit, but they will argue in court, John, that they have the legal authority to do this, and that the U.S. has operated a very similar program for military families since the Bush administration. They will also argue that they are taking unilateral action, just like they did at the U.S.-Mexico border 2 weeks ago, because of congressional inaction on immigration. Congress, as you know, we have to say this multiple times, has not acted on this issue in any significant way since the 1990s.
Camilo Montoya-Galvez in San Antonio. Thank you as always, Camilo.